Hi, this is Barry Schwartz from the Search Engine Roundtable. This is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is March 4th, Friday, and we're going to talk mostly about the Farmer/Panda update. Alright, so the first thing obviously I want to talk about was this Farmer update, which we announced last Thursday, not yesterday, but a week ago Thursday. The Farmer update, now known also as the Panda update, hit Google. About 12% of the search results are changed. It specifically targets low-quality content. People call it the Farmer update because people thought it targets specifically content farms. And obviously a lot has gone on over the past week to discuss it and what's been happening. Specifically, there was a lot of reports saying which sites got hit the most. Sites like wisegeek.com, Ezine Articles, Suite 101, Hub Pages, Buzzle, Associated Content, which is Yahoo's, and a lot of other sites were hit. We have a report about which sites were hit on February 28th at SEOroundtable.com, and there's lots and lots of discussion in the forums about which sites are hit and why they were hit and why they weren't. Moving on, basically there was a thing out there that says, a Wired report, that basically Google is tweaking the search results, meaning Google has, obviously Google does updates, and they tweak those updates in order to, benefit certain sites that should not have gotten hit. Obviously, those that were hit were actually by collateral damage per se, where Google meant to hit certain sites, but some sites got hit that they did not mean to hit. And obviously, we discussed this last week. Sites are going to get hit that weren't supposed to get hit, and Google's promised they're actually going to go ahead and forward and tweak it. They haven't done anything yet. But they will be doing something in the future, and they're looking for feedback, which we'll get to a bit later. On March 1st, we posted a poll asking you how you were impacted by the Farmer update, and we have about 300 responses. Most people, actually 40% that voted, obviously people who vote that are going to complain, said that they have a negative impact. They have less traffic from Google. Then 26% said they have the same level of traffic from before the update. And actually 18% said they have more traffic, while 15% said they have no idea yet. They need more time to analyze. We have this poll on March 1st at SEOroundtable.com if you want to take a look. I should be posting this in the chat room as well. And what happens if you did get hit? If you are part of that 40% of the people who went in and complained and said you did get hit by the Google Farmer update, Google is actually now allowing you to submit your site to them in a specific thread. We linked to this thread on March 3rd at SEOroundtable.com. The title of the post is called "Google accidentally labeled your site as Content Farm. Get help here." And there's a link to the Google Webmaster Help Forum specific thread that actually allows you to submit your site to Google for them to review. Google said they're going to take all this data, look at it, and make analysis on how to tweak the search algorithm based on what they believe are legitimate sites that actually got hit by this Google Farmer/Panda update. Wiz over at the Google forum, who's a Googler, said, "According to our metric, this update improves overall search quality. However, we are interested in hearing feedback from site owners and community as we continue to refine our algorithms. If you know of high-quality sites that have been negatively affected by this change, please bring it to our attention in this thread. Note this is an algorithmic change. We are unable to make manual exceptions, but in cases of high-quality content, we can pass the examples along to our engineers, who will look at them and work on future iterations of improvements to our algorithm. So if you don't see us responding, know that we are still listening and that they're looking at it. So if you do have a site that was impacted, Google's listening. They do not whitelist specific sites for these algorithms, but they won't make any manual exceptions, but they'll look at your site and maybe update the algorithm to improve it and allow your site in." Ben Pfeiffer did a post this week talking about, was Google a bit too hasty with this update? Should they have waited a little bit longer to push it out? Do they not pick up on all the changes? What would have you done differently than Google on releasing such an update? And there's been a lot of discussion around this. So if you are looking to have an opinion on that, definitely take a look at this, March 3rd as well, at SEOroundtable.com. Last night, Wired released an interview pretty much saying what Google, basically having an interview with Matt Cutts and Amit Singhal over at Google, basically talking about this update. And there are a lot of different quotes in the article that SEOs are chewing on right now, talking about human evaluators, asking humans to say, would they give their credit card to this website? Do they trust this website? And basically looking at these different metrics to determine if Google should trust the site or not, and they've been using a lot of these human evaluators to actually test and QA the results that they've been doing. So it's pretty interesting to see this Wired interview. It goes into a lot more detail. I'm not going to discuss it all now because I want to get this recap done fast. But if you want links to it and more quotes, March 4th at SEOroundtable.com. Finally, this is called the Panda update, at least internally by Google. Danny Sullivan named it the Farmer update. He knew Google was calling it Panda internally, but Google told him not to release that name because I don't know why, but they basically told him it's not something that they want to be published. Then Wired published the name in their interview with Google, and now people are calling it either the Panda or the Farmer update. The question is, what will you call it? And that's the main question here. I have a nice little panda bear. I've been using, the problem with this for me specifically is I've been using this icon, which I showed you guys last week, of this like Mario geek-ish mushroom symbolizing a farmer update, I guess. But now we have this panda. I mean, so I guess this is cool. Panda. They're known for ninja stuff. So the question is, what are we going to call this update? Is it the Panda update or is it the Farmer update? I suspect most people will continue to calling it both, and the question is really what will stick. Again, it's not that important, but names. Talking about the Panda or Farmer update, in that interview and other things, people are asking, does Google whitelist sites? And we talked about this maybe 6 weeks ago, and John Moo finally came out and said, hey, we generally do not have a whitelist for our algorithms, but our algorithms are updated regularly. Basically saying, no, we don't have a whitelist. I don't know. Matt Cutts was specifically asked the question on Twitter. He replied, typically I try to avoid commenting on legal complaints on Twitter. I'm weird that way, I know. But they pretty much didn't say anything about, do they whitelist? So John Moose did say they don't, but it used the word generally, so it doesn't really mean much. The question is, what do you consider a whitelist? It might be just in terms of definition. Do you consider being manually penalized and then that penalty being removed manually a whitelist or not? And that's the real question here that I think people have to ask themselves. Personally, I don't think Google has a specific whitelist that whitelist a specific site. I think they try to stick to algorithms, but again, I'm not privy to that information. March 3rd at SEOroundtable.com if you want more information. Here's an interesting question. I've never seen this before. Google, looks at the location of your host, of your server, where it's based, and based on that, it would actually adjust your rankings for the local versions of Google. So if you're based in France, your server is based in France, and you're on a .fr domain, Google obviously think that your site should rank higher in Google France than it does in Google.com. So Google does look at server location. The question here is specific to, does Google look at state or city level of your host? If you're based in Texas or if you're based in New York City, does Google look at that server location, a very, very granular level, to actually determine if you should rank higher if somebody's searching New York or searching California? And John Moo said no, they don't. You pretty much don't have to worry about that. They don't look at it at that granular type of level. So I find that fairly interesting. All right, I'm going to try to speak a little bit slower. Somebody just called me out as a Matt Cutts if I just shaved my head. I don't think so. He probably weighs about half my weight. I mean, not half, but... next. Too many links. There was a study done by SEO Optimize where he basically built a new website, and the new website... he built a brand new website, and then he basically built 10,000 junk spammy links to that website. The site ranked very well for a few weeks or so, and then automatically, bam, it dropped. It totally crashed. But now, a few weeks after that, it's back up. The question is, did the bad links kill it initially, or was it QDF, Query Deserves Freshness, or was it something else? Obviously, it's a new site, so there's a lot of factors to take into play here. But if you want to learn more about this specific thing, March 3rd at SEOroundtable.com. Google has a new AdSense interface for mobile users, which is great. You can now go to google.com/AdSense on your smartphone, Android, iPhone, Palm Pre, etc., BlackBerry, and you can actually get a mobile interface specific to your AdSense earnings. You can see, today's earnings, estimated earnings, payments, general graphs and reports. You can't do things like set up new ads or block sites, but that might be coming down the pipeline. It's nice to have this report. I'm pretty happy about it. Not that I'll probably ever check it out, but if you want to see screenshots, and let me bring up my screen for you guys to see it now, you can look at it on March 4th at SERoundtable.com. There's a new Google Place rule. You cannot pay for reviews anymore, either positive or negative. Well, specifically positive. Google said, and here's their guidelines. Let me bring it up. Reviews are only valuable when they are honest and unbiased, even if well-intentioned. A conflict of interest can be undetermined in trust. For instance, do not offer or accept money or product to write positive reviews about a business or to write negative reviews about a competitor. Please also do not post reviews on behalf of others or represent your identity or affiliation with the place you're reviewing. That's the new guideline. Now, no longer can you accept money to post a positive review or a negative review about a specific company. Obviously, how does Google know? I'm not sure, but obviously there's lots of people out there that are trying to game Google, and this has been going on for probably years now, and specifically to the local results. Next up, a little fun thing. Google has a new 404 custom 404 page. Just try it out, google.com/blah blah blah blah, and you'll probably see it. Here's a little picture of it right now. You can see it has a little picture of a robot, a broken robot. The interesting thing is that there is no search box, which I find fairly interesting. Why doesn't Google put a search box on their 404 page? They don't, but anyway, that's something for another topic. Finally, I want to take you through the various logos for the week and pictures that I found to be interesting. We'll start off with Yahoo Sweet 16. Yahoo turns 16 years old, according to their, I guess, date of registration. And let me bump up my screen. You'll see Yahoo has a birthday cake. It's actually of a purple UK mini, and that mini looks pretty yummy and sweet. Also, you can see the cupcakes they have. Again, this is their 16th birthday. It was on March 1st. Google China had a special logo for Li Bai. Li Bai was a famous poet from China. And he was born in 706, died in 762. So that's the Google China Li Bai logo. Google UK had a special logo for St. David's Day. Here's the logo. It's pretty neat. I liked it as well. Google Japan had a neat logo for what is called the Japanese Doll Festival, or Girls' Day. And it's pretty neat. It has basically Chinese character dolls on a platform with a red carpet, which is the way the tradition is celebrated. And also YouTube had a special logo for the carnival type of thing. Finally, it was Dr. Seuss's 107th birthday. The Search Engine Roundtable had a special logo for it, but Google did not. Google did have a special logo for his 105th birthday in 2009, which you can see on my screen now. Anyway, that pretty much recaps the Search Buzz video recap. This is the news we covered over the past week at the Search Engine Roundtable at SERoundtable.com. Today is March 4th. Friday. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you guys next week. I'll be in XMX West the whole week. I'll be coming back Friday red eye, and I'll probably hopefully do a video in the morning if everything runs smoothly and no flights are delayed. Everyone, thank you so much for listening, and have a great week. Bye.